the number one thing that I think is especially true, and they do this thing where like it's kind of cute, I guess, I don't know, but I started seeing it in dramas first and I was like, that's a little weird, but once you get here it becomes kind of normal. You're like, okay, yeah, so that's true. What's up, idols? It's Cece Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it's been a while since I just sat down and just did a video in this room, or a room, by myself. Yeah. So today's video is definitely not meant to be taken seriously at all. I know y'all, man. It's hard to just talk objectively, to just talk about your experiences, to talk about your opinions on things without people just telling you you're wrong or you're dumb or that's stupid or whatever. No matter how many disclaimers I offer about saying it's just me, it's just my story or my friend's stories or what I've seen or what I've heard, y'all be right there in the comments. So today's video is going to be a fun video, again, do not take this too seriously, about some of the similarities I've noticed between guys in real life in Korea and guys in Korean dramas. Like I said in my last two sit-down videos where I kind of talked about just meeting people here, lately, I don't know if the pandemic changed people, but it's been a lot more easygoing to meet normal people. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, the fuckboys are still lurking, but I've met up with several nice normal guys just for fun. Like, no expectations, nobody like, so love motel, DVD bomb, nothing like that. I don't know if it's the pandemic, but I love it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. This video is going to be 5 similarities I've noticed between guys in real life in Korea and guys in Korean dramas. Now, I already said, and again, another please, huge disclaimer, do not watch these Korean dramas and expect men or women or people to be like that, period. Now, I understand, you know, you watch foreign media because you want to get a taste of that culture and that scenic views. That's like me right now. I'm way into British dramas because I really want to go to London. Alright, for real. I really want to go to the UK, so I like to watch British media right now because, you know, you can see the weather, you see the buildings, you see the people, but I don't expect people there to be the way I see them in these British dramas. So things like that. Actually, I know I got a lot of Brits who watch me, thank you. Can y'all give me some recommendations because I need some new Netflix dramas to watch? Drop them in the comments because I've been running dry waiting for Bodyguard season 2. That The 5 was really good, Giddy Hitty was really good. The Fall, yeah, so give me some recommendations, por favor. So yeah, like I said, do not believe what you see in TV as an exact portrayal of the people in that society. But to some degree, you know, there are some nuances that are accurately captured and portrayed. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. By the way, if you guys watch my videos, if you enjoy the content, because I see a lot of people watch my videos but don't subscribe, and it's right down there, it's free, it don't cost you a dime, but it makes my day, like it keeps me going, it keeps me motivated. Please subscribe. I am trying to get to 100K as soon as possible. I'm coming up on 3 years next month, 3 years of doing YouTube. I'm happy, I'm really happy with this. Okay, I talk too much. We'll start with 5. Number 5 on this list, meeting in cafes. Cafes are life in Korea. There is, if you can see a building, look in front of you, look behind you, look to your left, look to your right, look up, there's at least 4 cafes around you. Cafes are everywhere in Korea. Whenever you meet someone for the first time, it's always cafe. Whereas like in the States, for example, it's like, let's go for dinner, let's go for lunch or brunch. It's always a cafe in Korea. Because in the States, for the most part, we have like Starbucks. Some people run on Dunkin'. But cafes, there are dozens, hundreds of cafes in Korea. Every time someone has asked me to meet up, they always suggest a cafe first, always. Again, that's just me, but always. You see in the dramas, they're just stoically waiting in the cafe by themselves and hear the music playing. It's like that in real life too. It's kind of funny. And with good reason. There's a lot of yummy beverages. Like, I'm not a coffee drinker. I cannot drink coffee. The last time I drank coffee, it was actually 3 years ago. Me and my friends went to the JYP building, the old one, and we sat at the Dunkin' Donuts waiting for someone to come out because we were hoping we'd see somebody. And to pass the time, I had some coffee. Like, you know, I don't want to just sit there and occupy a seat. I'm gonna, you know, be a consumer as well. So I'm drinking all this caffeine and coffee, and I did not sleep. We went out that night, so maybe there's a soju mixed with the caffeine, but my body has never processed caffeine well. I already don't sleep much as it is. I average 5 to 6 hours a night of sleep. Mixed with coffee, I'm not gonna sleep. So I don't drink coffee, but tea is my friend. I love tea. And I also wanna recommend like aid beverages. In America, for example, lemonade is like water, sugar, and lemon. In Korea, they add like, I don't know if it's cider or like sparkling water or It's good. It's like a soda, but they have like grapefruit flavors, orangeade, grape, I already said that twice. Lemonade, limeade, those are my favorites. Aid, uminosu. Those are my favorites. But yeah, coffee shops are life in Korea. You will always be asked to meet in a cafe, just like in the dramas. Okay, number 4. Again, I haven't watched dramas in years. Like the last time I actually sat down and watched like a romancy one, because I see Korean shows. Like I just watched Sweet Home. I still love Kingdom. I can't wait for season 3. Like I like action ones. I will not sit there and watch a romance, sappy, that's not my thing. Korean movies are my thing. Korean dramas, not so much. I remember like thinking these guys are a little sensitive and moody. And it seems like that in real life. Now, for the most part, a lot of these people, I talk with them over text. And it is easier to interpret a text message with different tones and different like emotions behind it. That's why I get drained sometimes, because I feel like I have to put a million emojis, LOL, ha ha ha, LMAO, k, so people don't think it's like an angry or mad or upset text. Like I always have to seem upbeat. But there was this one time in particular, a few weeks ago, and we hashed it. Like he called me after and we squashed it. It was no big deal. But he said, oh, I got spring break coming up. And I was like, okay, cool, we could do something. And he's like, oh, so what are some things you wanted to do? Ask me for like what I want to do. And I said, I've been really dying to go to the DMZ. He said, oh, isn't that for foreigners? I was like, yeah, but it's kind of a tourist attraction. He said, yeah, I think that's for foreigners. So I was like, okay, I'll go with a foreigner. Then he's like laid out the rules, and I was like, oh, literally, I said these 4 words: I know the rules. He's like, you don't have to be rude. I was like, how is that rude? I said I know the rules. I didn't say fuck you, I know, or yeah, cool, okay, thanks. I said I know the rules because I knew them. Like I've been wanting to go to DMZ for years. I've looked into it. So then we went about this whole thing about how I should think of how my words might make the other person feel, and I was just confused. I was like, look, I'm done. But then he said, can I call you? So he called me and it was fine. He was like, yeah, I guess it just got lost over text. So that happens to me a lot. Dudes here seem a bit more sensitive than in the States. I can definitely say that, which is a good and a bad thing. The one drama I think I'm remembering in particular was called Cinderella and the 4 Knights. And I remember it was one girl, 4 nights. And they were like overly competitive, but also quite moody and sensitive over every little thing if she didn't accept their advances. And so yeah, I was just like, damn, dude, you moody as fuck. And it's kind of like that in real life. So 3, this is kind of a big one I've noticed. Like I said, lately, for the past 2 months or so, I've been actually hanging out with a lot of Korean people. So one thing I've noticed is like, in Korean dramas where you see like, the girl, like there's like danger and it happens in slow motion, like the girl's about to fall or something, and you see the guy like try to help her. It's stupid, I know. To some degree in real life, it is kind of like that. So like when you're on the train and you're like losing your footing, they'll like try to catch you even though you're not gonna fall. Or if like you're about to cross the street but the light turns red, they'll put their hand out in front of you. Or like the other day, well, 2 weeks ago, last weekend, something like that, we were walking by Han River and it was like a bike trail, and I'm walking, I stopped, but he still put his arm out in front of me to make sure I didn't like keep going to get hit by a bike. But yeah, things like that I've noticed more here than like in the States. Whereas in the States, I think they like, you good, right? You got this. In Korea, they're a bit more like protective, I guess. And they're very, very like that in Korean drama. So the first time it happened, I was like, wow. That's real? Okay. Number 2, and this one's a good thing. Like I've said this before in other videos, they're definitely very into their looks. Like you see all the time in like Korean dramas where they're like looking in the mirror. There are mirrors everywhere in Korea. That's just Korean culture. Like you gotta zhuzh up yourself and make sure you look good all the time. But like, in Korean dramas, you see them getting facials and wearing sheet masks in real life, or they make sure they get their clothes tailored, BB cream, like, but it's like that in real life too. And I find that to be a good thing. That's one of the things I've said this before, where in the West, men, if you like take care of yourself a lot, like if you give a shit about your haircut or make sure your skin's good or you dress nicely, then people assume you're gay, like that's supposed to be a bad thing. Bruh, it's 2021. So that's one thing that is true in Korean dramas and in real life. Men are very into their appearance and their skin and self-care, which is a good thing. Not everything is about no homo. Yeah, bro, you look good, no homo. I hate that. The number 1 thing that I think is especially true, and they do this thing where like it's kind of cute, I guess, I don't know, but I started seeing it in the dramas first and I was like, that's a little weird. But once you get here, it becomes kind of normal. You're like, okay, yeah, so that's true. The number 1 thing that I think is absolutely accurate is how like affectionate they are. And I don't mean like, obviously every couple is affectionate, but like skinship is something that used to be really taboo here. But like everywhere you go, walking around, couples are everywhere. You see them like, they'll have their hand on their girl's shoulder, just walking with their hand on her shoulder. Or like when they're talking on face to face on the train, you see them like pat them on the head, or well, not so much these days because of COVID, but you know, they used to like pinch the cheeks, oh you're cute, and they don't do that, no, not COVID protocol, but patting on the head, hand on the small of their back, holding hands, hand on the shoulder, really close. And like even if you're just walking and you stop at a red, or yeah, people can't cross on a red light, they'll just have their hand on the small of your back, just holding there, you know. They're very affectionate like that, and it's almost kind of feels like, you know, like a parent and a child sort of, but like it's kind of cute, I guess. I don't know, to each their own. Oh, you go 귀엽다, or getting really close and pat, yeah. But yeah, so I'm curious, like if there are some things that people who have visited Korea or lived in Korea or still do right now, if any of these sound accurate to you, or if there are more that I'm not thinking of, because again, I haven't watched Korean dramas in like 4 years. Like I said, I watched the occasional like action one, but I haven't really watched like the romancy love triangle, oh I'm sick, oh you're poor and I'm rich, oppa. I don't watch those anymore because they're dumb. So I don't know, I just felt like talking to you guys. It's been a minute, so if I can think of any other ones then I will chime in and build onto this. But like I said, I haven't really watched Korean dramas. So thanks for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.